Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sparksy and Jared here on Zoom. I am Jared Moore, and alongside me on the other side of the camera is Mike Sparks, and we are joined tonight by Kerrigan Myers and Braxton Tate, Galion High School track and field athletes. And guys, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting tonight because, Jared, every time we've had one of these podcasts, this is number 4 now, we've always had one guest, but we're blessed to have two tonight, two outstanding athletes. And guys, welcome. Thanks for coming tonight. And it'll be interesting. So probably what we'll do is ask questions, and you both can take a turn answering kind of the same question because we're both into that. So, Jared, I'll let you kick it off, buddy.
All right, guys. So obviously your senior year here has pretty much come to a close almost. We're down to the last month or so. What are you guys doing to stay prepared here? I guess in this off season, you could call it, as you guys both are going to move on to Division I colleges and participate there. And I guess what have you been doing to keep yourselves busy during this time?
Braxton, do you want to start?
Okay. For me, I've just been running, trying to get on the track if I can. It's not locked, and just running my miles I need to run for the week.
For me, I try to find time to go out to the track, and I actually have my own little setup in my garage. So I'll do my high jump exercise, and then I actually have hurdles too. So I'll set those up in my backyard and just do some hurdle warm-ups.
So kind of a question for both, but I'll kind of focus on Kerrigan first since she's still up. Just to reflect on some of the things that you did at Galion High School, member of National Honor Society, member of the outstanding volleyball team that went 24-1 this last year and lost in the regional semis to Ottawa Glandorf, and of course a very successful track season, and choosing to go to the University of Nebraska to study veterinary medicine and participate in track, and defending Division II state champ in the 100-meter hurdles at a 14:10. So you carry that with you because there's going to be no state championship this year. But talk a little bit about first, if you will, first of all, what it meant to you to be a Galion track athlete as well as volleyball, but also how difficult it was when you found out spring sports were going to be canceled this year.
Well, I love being part of the Galion team. I mean, we had a great volleyball season. We also had a great track season last year. I, for one, did. And it's devastating because your senior year, it's taken from you, and you have all these accomplishments that you want to achieve, and that's just stripped from you. So.
And was it really heartbreaking when you heard that, or was it one of those things where you've learned how to deal with adversity and it was just one of those things, well, I have to move on now?
Well, I'm a very emotional person. So when DeWine announced that school wasn't going to be in anymore, at first I thought he meant we were going back to school. So I was like, oh, I'm going to have a season. And my mom was like, no, that's not what he said. So then I went in my room and I cried. And then I was waiting for my coach to call me. And he did, and he always gives me these pep talks, so it kind of just made me feel better. So, I mean, there's nothing that I can really do about it. I just have to accept it.
And so Braxton, you participate in cross country, swimming, and track at Galion. You plan on studying early childhood education at Kent State and participating in cross country and track. And last year, you're the 3rd place finisher, Division II state cross country meet. At 15:45:08, just 40 seconds behind the champion, your buddy over in Shelby, Caleb Brown, who's going on to Wisconsin. Talk just briefly a little bit about what that experience was like at the state cross-country meet, and also what it's meant to you to be a Galion athlete and student, and how difficult it was when you found out that there would be no spring sports for you.
Well, the state cross-country meet was a ride because nobody really likes the course. It's a very difficult course, and the weather's usually never great. So you just know you got to go out there and run your best. You just got to run your best race, compete with the guys, just make it a good race. And the chips fell where they did, and it was a good race. I'm happy with the outcome. It's been an honor to be a Galion athlete all these years. I've loved to represent Galion this whole time, and when I realized my season was canceled, it was really devastating, really, because I wanted to do some big things. I was really hoping to compete with Caleb this year in outdoor track. I really thought I had a chance, but it was something I just had to kind of know that it was okay, because I have something to look forward to still to go. So it was more of a struggle to think about the other kids that haven't gotten their scholarships or haven't signed yet. And it was just like, that's just a terrible thing.
Now, you both have mentioned going on to college, and Braxton, you chose Kent State, and you had some other choices out there. And what led you to Kent State?
Well, I really liked the young coach. That really helped. He had some new good ideas. He convinced me he wasn't going to run me to the ground like I felt like most D1 would. Because when you go to D1, they say it's such a big jump. It's dangerous. You could get hurt. And he made me feel like he knew what he was doing. He felt like he had some new ideas. And the campus is amazing. The team was awesome. And just felt really homey.
And then Kerrigan, on the other side of that, you're going to Nebraska, a Big Ten school. It's a little bit further away from home. Did that factor into your decision at all?
Yeah, it kind of did. I mean, I was looking at Findlay for a while there, but when I went on my visit to Nebraska, I already knew what my choice was going to be.
It was just like that. You knew it?
Yeah, I love the team, and like it kind of felt like it felt like a big city, but like not as big as a big city. So like I was like, oh, this is kind of like downtown Columbus, Ohio. Like, I mean, it's much smaller, but like it really feels like home.
Yeah, I would agree. I've been to Lincoln, Nebraska before. I've been on that campus before, and you're right. It's not a very big town. It's they say on Saturdays during football season, it becomes the largest city in Nebraska. And that's certainly where people flock to, and very similar, I think, to Columbus. But it does have some niceties to it as well. It's kind of a small town flavor, but a big campus environment. Talk a little bit about the recruitment process. Did you reach to them, or did they reach to you? How did they find out about you, Kerrigan?
They actually reached out to me. Their athletic recruiter, he's actually from Ohio, like the Lexington area. And I think he knew my coach. I can't remember, but he actually reached out to me my junior year, like I think a couple weeks after indoor started, and he was like, "Oh, hey, like have you ever thought about like moving out of state?" And I was like, not really.
And how about you, Braxton? I know when we had talked prior to this, you were looking at Bowling Green, a Division I, Tiffin Division II, and Ashland Division II. What really excited you specifically about Kent State? Let's say more so from the academic side. Let's look at it from that side. What did you really like about their education program?
Well, they're a bigger school, but they're not too big. So the class size felt just kind of right in the middle for me. I didn't want to be in a giant lecture hall, but I didn't want to be in a 6-person classroom. So that just felt really nice.
So moving on here, and then so have you guys, you participate in the MOAC? Do you have a favorite track or cross country track to go visit compared to your home course?
I've always liked Ontario. They just got their new track and new stadium, and it's a really nice track to run on.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Braxton on that one. Ontario has a really great track.
And then, that's interesting because there's so many events run out, cross-country events, and that doesn't pertain to you, Kerrigan, but Braxton, at the reservoir out there, that probably has to seem like home to you, doesn't it?
Well, I literally live a mile away from our home Ammons Reservoir course, and I don't like it. I do not like our home course.
Why is that?
It's so plain and flat. just loops. It's not fun. Cross country season, you like trees and hills and water and mud, and our home course is kind of boring, actually. It's fast, but it's kind of boring.
Did you, and I assume you know the cross country meet is being changed next year. The venue is being changed.
The state meet, yes.
Yeah, they took it to another spot. It was at National Trail? Is that right?
Yeah.
And I believe now it's at a place in Obetz, I believe is
I think so.
location. Hmm?
I wish it would have been moved last year.
Yeah.
Nobody likes that. Nobody likes national trails.
So, Kerrigan, on the volleyball side, do you have a favorite visiting gym?
Well, I really don't. I was really looking more forward to track and volleyball. Like, I only did volleyball so that I could stay in state for track.
Yeah.
We're visiting with Galion track stars Kerrigan Myers, who's going to the University of Nebraska, Braxton Tate going to Kent State University. And I'll start with you, Braxton, as you kind of come to a close of the virtual senior year. What are some of the most fond memories you have that you're going to take with you from your classmates and just being at Galion High School? Either sports, academic, anything. I don't know if you were in any dramas or anything like that, but just some things that you're going to take away with you as you move on to Kent State and say, wow, this was a really neat experience at Galion High School.
Well, with the school factor, I had good friends all through high school. We had great times. I was never really in trouble, so I don't have any too horrible memories of school. Just school in general was great. On the athletic side, though, one of my greatest memories of track was my sophomore year, I think. The MOAC race came down to my 3,200 at the very end. And I wasn't too good my sophomore year. I wasn't anything crazy. But I had to pass like 5 or so guys in my race or we would have lost the conference. And then when I ended up pulling it off, all the big senior guys who were guys I looked up to let me run the trophy around the track for a victory lap and stuff. It was a great time. And I'm going to remember that for a long time.
Kerrigan, how about you? Same question. Real fond memories of Galion High School and either academic or athletic that you'll always take with you?
One thing that I'm always going to take with me is being part of the track team for one. Mainly like winning the state championship my junior year, beating the defending state champion, and also winning state for indoor and breaking the state record, and then being like ranked top 10 in the nation, and they actually named me All-American for the 60-meter hurdles for indoor, even though they didn't have nationals. But from a school standpoint, I'm always gonna like remember my friends that I had. I mean, I've lost friends, I've made new friends, and I think that's just one lesson learned.
Outstanding. And congratulations on your indoor achievements. Very good.
Thank you.
Now you talk about making friends, losing friends. Along with that, how have you guys been connecting with your friends while school's been out?
Well, it's been hard, but when we find time, we get together and try to maintain the whole social distance, coronavirus safety thing, but it doesn't always work out like that. We go.
What's the dog's name?
That's Avery.
My friends and me, we've been on fishing, and when I go on my runs, they hop on bikes and bike with me, so that's always nice.
Do they keep up with you?
On the bike, yeah. The bike helps a little.
Kerrigan, how about you on that? What have you been doing?
Well, one of my friends, they're not actually like, I mean, they're allowed out and everything, but like her mom has like more health issues, so like she can't really like hang around much. And I actually went over to her house to drop some things off, and she had to wear a mask. And I wasn't really allowed to be close to her. And my other friend, I don't know if she's like allowed to hang out or anything. I haven't really like asked, but like we Snapchat each other a lot, so that's kind of how we keep in touch.
So while you're on the screen, I want to ask you this question. And we can talk about Coach Valentine from volleyball or Coach Roston on track, but express to the people that are watching what those coaches have meant to you personally, and how much you'll miss them and what they've meant in your life.
My coaches are, like, I consider them family. I'm super close with the head coach, Coach Roston. He's like my second dad. Like, I can ask him for anything. He'll do it for me. My high jump coach, he's like my brother. Me and him get along so easily, and we're always joking at practice. And my hurdle coach is actually my volleyball coach too. So, like, she's like my second mom too. And it kind of sucks that I'm leaving them, but I mean, it's nice to have them in my life, and I know that they'll always be here. So,
Braxton, how about you?
My coaches have been extremely influential in my life. Roston, he's basically the only reason I'm actually going to Kent, because I was kind of getting lazy on the whole finding a college side of things, and he got on me and told me to start picking up the phone when Kent coaches had called me like once or twice, and I hadn't picked up the phone because I didn't know the number. And he got on me and pretty much set my whole life from here on out into action. It was really big.
And you had Coach Connor for cross country, correct?
Yeah, and Coach Connor, I've known her for a long time. Back when I was wee little, she's been coaching me since middle school. She's been really influential too.
Great.
Now, Braxton, you also swim during the winter season. How did it go for you this year, and how does that keep you prepared for track and cross country?
Yeah, so I didn't choose to swim my senior year because I felt like indoor track it needed to happen to prepare, because I wanted to run with those top guys in the state at the state meet, and I felt like swimming just wasn't going to get it done. So I had decided to do indoor, even though it would have been my fourth year letter, and it would have given my 12th letter in high school, which is a pretty big accomplishment, but I chose against it to do indoor. And I'm glad I did at this point, because as we know, track is not having an outdoor season. So that indoor season was very important for my future.
Well, Kerrigan, I have to ask, you had mentioned how satisfying it was to be the defending state champ in the 100-meter hurdles. But last year you were also third, part of the relay team that finished third in Division II, the 4x100 at 48.74, along with Caitlin Bailey, Jalen Oswald, and Brooklyn Cozy. To be with three other girls and to reach that accomplishment, maybe not the same as an individual, but talk about the importance and that friendship and that bonding that you had with those three other girls on the relay team.
So I was always the second leg, and Jay was always our first leg. She was our leadoff runner, and me and her, I think we've handed off since my freshman year. And so, like, me and her, like, that was just like our favorite thing. Like, we loved handing off to each other. And same thing with Brooklyn. I think I've always handed off to her, other than handing off to Marissa, like, I think my sophomore year. And it's always good to have a good bond with your team, and you have to get along with them. Otherwise, like, you're not going to trust each other, and you just have to have that trust.
Now, you guys both have a ton of medals behind you. Can you count all of them?
That might take some time.
There's a few.
Oh, so we
finally
missed
got these
some.
from Ralston's room.
Yeah.
320.
Oh, my dad said I have 220 medals.
220, huh?
I don't think I have that many.
That's a great accomplishment, though. Congratulations on that. So,
Thank you.
Brooklyn, you did a lot of different events. In Nebraska, we know at any Division I school is going to be really specialized, I suspect, because they have young ladies and men coming from all over the country and perhaps all over the world. Is there one area where they're looking at you specifically to say, we just want you to do this event and be really, really good at it?
I'm actually going to be a multi, so, like, I'll be doing, like, basically
and I apologize. I called you Brooklyn. I had Brooklyn Cozy on the mind. Kerrigan, I'm sorry. I apologize for that.
It's okay. But, yeah, I'm going to be a multi, so I'll be doing, like, I'll still be doing high jump, hurdles, 200, shot put, javelin, 800. Not really excited about that, but you know. What else is it?
How about you, Braxton?
I'll be doing more of the cross country side because they have a pretty good mid-distance team. So I'll be on the cross country team, try to build that new base for a cross country team that the new coach is trying to bring in. So more like the 10K in the championship races, and throughout the season, I believe it's 8K, I think, through regular season for cross country. And the track, I'll probably run 5K, 3,200 probably.
Okay, good.
So I guess going from there, Kerrigan, you're going to study veterinary medicine. Was there anything else that popped out in your mind that you wanted to study, or was it always going to be that?
It was always going to be that one. I was trying to like think of like what else I could like fall back on if that didn't work out, but like nothing just fits.
Yeah, and same with you, Braxton. Was it always going to be childhood education?
Well, I couldn't actually think of a major I wanted to study until like the end of my junior year. But then when I thought of teaching, it just kind of clicked. I was like, that could be a really good job, and it could be something I could really enjoy doing.
Now, is that something where along the line you're going to be in a school system? Is that something where you possibly want to coach in the future too?
That's what I've been thinking about. But with the early childhood education, it's hard because the schools get out later than like the high school and the middle school do. So a lot of my teachers and coaches have been trying to talk me into doing like middle school or middle school or maybe freshman. But I like the little kids, and then I think I could really get along with the little kids really well. So I'm kind of torn between coaching and the early childhood education. So haven't really decided on that.
Again, we're visiting this evening with two Galion student athletes, both really proficient in track and cross country, Kerrigan Myers and Braxton Tate. And I'd like to kind of wrap things up by asking some somewhat personal questions from the standpoint as I think the viewers like to get to know you. And Kerrigan, I'll start with you. If there was only one restaurant available on the face of the earth for Kerrigan Myers, what would it have to be?
I might have to go with Texas Roadhouse. They have really good rolls. And
yeah, they kind of do.
Kinda, they do.
Yeah. You don't want to know the over and under of number of rolls that Jared and I could put away. Braxton, how about you? What would be your go-to if there's only one left?
They would have to be Chipotle. Chipotle is it's too good. It's so good. I can't get over it.
What's your go-to?
I get a bowl and then like a wrap on the side, chicken. Oh my God, it's so good.
Are you a guac guy or not?
No guac. No guac.
No guac.
It's okay, but I don't like it in my bowl.
Yeah. All right.
You got more rapid fire questions here, Mike?
Yeah, I do actually.
Go ahead. Keep going.
I'm going back to Kerrigan. What is Kerrigan Myers binge watching now on Netflix?
I'm actually watching Glee. I was just scrolling through like TV shows because I was like, I need something new to watch because I just watched All American. That show was really good. And I happened to find Glee, so I was like, oh, I'll give that a try.
Braxton, how about you? What are you binge watching?
I just finished The Office for like the second time. The Office is so good. It's so good.
What is it you like about it so much? Because I know a lot of people watch. It's very popular.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to get into it, but the dry humor and character Jim, he is so funny.
Oh, he's my favorite. Jim's always my favorite, and Dwight.
I can't get over it. They're just so funny.
All right, Kerrigan, back to you. If we're going to go to music now, you're getting ready for the big meet, you're getting ready to do your thing. What would have to be playing through your headphones to get you pumped up to get ready to do what you need to do to win?
Before I compete, I don't actually listen to music, so I kind of just I don't know, I kind of just try to like think of like positive things, and like I can feel the adrenaline pumping, so like that's kind of just what gets me going. Like I don't really listen to music, so
but if you did, what would it be?
I don't know. It'd probably have to be something that's really upbeat. I don't know.
Braxton, what about you?
Well, for me, I do listen to music before I race because I have to warm up, go on these long warm-ups. And I like rock and roll. It gets me pumped. It's high, upbeat. It gets me going. It's pretty good.
Jared, what else you have?
That's it, Mike. I'm out.
Well, you're tapping. Well, I got one final question for each of them. And first and foremost, Kerrigan, who do you want to shout out tonight?
I want to shout out my family, my parents, my coaches, my friends. I wouldn't be here without them. And, of course, my teammates. I could not be the athlete that I am without them. So it's all for them.
Very good. Braxton?
I'd have to shout out my teammates and my coaches and my family mostly. My mom is my distance coach for track, and she has been completely revolutionary in keeping me going through this whole situation we got going on, and she's amazing.
Very good. Well, Kerrigan and Braxton, thank you so much for giving up your time tonight. We know that you wish you would have had a regular spring sports and all the fun things that come with being a senior, prom and walking across the platform to get your diploma. And unfortunately, that's not going to happen, but that doesn't take away from what you've accomplished at Galion High School, the people that you've become, the people that have influenced you, and the people that you've influenced. So continue on. Take the Galion Tiger pride to Lincoln and to Kent State, and we will look forward, going forward, to seeing how you do and the success you bring, not only on the track, but in the classroom as well. And we just wish you the best of luck, and thanks for taking time for us tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. Jared, anything to finish it up for the good of the cause tonight?
Good luck, guys. Congratulations on outstanding careers. And obviously, we'll look forward to hearing what you guys have in store at both Kent State and Nebraska. So congratulations, guys, and good luck here in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I need to remind you that the comments and views expressed in this podcast series are those of Mike Sparks, Jared Moore, and our guest. The podcast is not associated in any way with WBCO and WQEL Radio. That'll put a wrap to episode number 4 of the Overtime Podcast with Sparksy and Jared. We'll be making a decision very soon as to who our guest will be next for episode 5, so stay tuned on social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook. We will announce that. This will be up on YouTube as well as Facebook and Twitter that you can go back and watch at any time. Jared, anything else to finish up, or are we good for tonight?
I'm about ready for bed, Mike.
All right. It's been a long day for everybody. With that, we'll put a close to episode 4 of the Overtime Podcast. And as always, I remind you, a spirit with a vision is a dream with a mission. Have a good night, everybody.